Hello, welcome to Holy TV. I am Tony Restrepo, and we are always so excited to be here with you. I just want to start out by saying that I pray that you and your family are doing well as we continue to pray for you all, our nation, and this world at large. We want to continue this month on the topic of anti-stress. We know that around the world right now that stress is at an all-time high. And we really want to help to equip you with the tools necessary to overcome everything that we're dealing with as a nation. And so we want to continue in that vein. If you have not listened to the other recordings on anti-stress, I truly encourage you to go back and listen to those as well, because they will be a blessing to your life. So let's jump in. The definition of stress. We went over this a few times in the other recordings, but I think it's so important that we continue to understand what stress is. And it is a physiological response or change in your body due to external things that are happening and the perception of threat or lack or misfortune, or maybe even the inability to be able to take care of it because you're not capable. And so we want you to understand that there is something actually happening in your body. There's a chemical reaction in your body in response to how you are perceiving what is happening in your life right now. And that chemical response is called stress on the body. So we've been talking about, what stress is and understanding it spiritually. We've gone over, understanding stress in your emotions. Today I want to focus a little bit more on what are those physiological changes? What is happening in the body, and what are some of the physical things we can be doing to help to combat the stress that we face in our lives? One of the main things that help us with stress, what we call that fright or flight response in the body. Our bodies are equipped to handle stress, but just for short periods of time. And the kind of mental stress that we are under and that we go through as a culture right now, our bodies were not designed for that prolonged stress. And so what we have is called an adrenal gland. The adrenal glands sit on top of the kidneys, and they are responsible for helping your body to cope with stress. It's also helps you with your immune system. It helps to produce hormones that will balance your water and your salt intakes to keep your blood pressure at a certain place. So these are very, very, as small as they are, very important to our lives. We can't live without them. And this is the thing, the adrenal gland really is responding to all the stress that we are experiencing, and it's producing hormones, especially cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and it produces that for your body to deal with it. So what happens when we are under prolonged periods of stress, we are overproducing cortisol in our body, which can cause our bodies now to react adversely. And I'm going to go over some of the different symptoms in which your body may respond to this excess amount of stress. Some of the signs that we are stressed overload, or what they have called adrenal fatigue, are lack of focus. You feel kind of foggy in your thinking. You forget things kind of easily. You have a hard time getting up in the morning. You may sleep for a good amount of time. You may even get 8 hours and wake up and still feel like you haven't gotten enough. You're tired throughout the day. You have you feel like you have to keep drinking coffee or some kind of stimulus to keep you going throughout the day. You focus on the negative. Because one of the things about stress hormone is that it is supposed to help you to survive. So when you are overstressed and that hormone is over active in your body, you tend to see problems all the time because you're constantly trying to survive and fix things. So you'll see a problem in like every situation. You're constantly seeing problems. Sleeplessness. You have a really hard time sleeping at night. You can't get rest. You can't really quiet your mind and your body down to sleep. High blood pressure is triggered as well from excessive stress. There's also stress-induced diabetes because stress can trigger insulin in the body. And so there's stress-induced diabetes caused from that. Hair loss is another issue. Even lack of libido is an issue with being overstressed. Autoimmune sicknesses are created from stressors in your life. Something very stressful happens in your life and can trigger an autoimmune response to that event. Weight gain. There's a saying called adrenal body type, meaning that your body begins to take on a shape or gain weight right in that midsection. So your extremities may be thin and slim, but the gut area is getting larger and larger. You're gaining weight in the midsection of your body. That can be caused by stress. And what's interesting to me about this topic is that it's showing us that not only is our poor nutrition or poor diets and lack of exercise the reason for some of the health issues that we might be facing, but stress is a big issue of why we are experiencing a lot of the health issues we have. And the thing about stress is that it's like this silent, underlying, not talked about thing that is really at the root of it. It's even at the root of why we eat the way that we eat or why we don't do the exercise we need to. Because if you're feeling stressed, you're feeling tired, you're feeling fatigued, you're not going to feel like really doing the exercise that you should be doing. If some people emotionally eat, if you're going through a lot of things, you might be eating these things to try to bring comfort to you. And so stress really is at the root of so much of what we're dealing with. And this is why we cannot ignore it any longer. We have to really, take control, really begin to investigate our lives and see where in our life can I create more control over the stressors that are happening. Because we can't just be like, I'm just stressed out. We say it so passively and okay, but it's attacking our bodies in a way that is really causing us to deteriorate, to be sick and be ill. And really that saying that stress kills is a fact. So we can't afford to continue to live these stressful lifestyles, and we have to learn how to alleviate stress. We have to learn how to minimize our stress. We have to learn how to manage it. We have to learn how to cope in times that are of difficulty. And so some of the solutions we've went over in past videos as well, but prayer is number one on the list. We have to begin to get into the presence of God and pray and even seek His wisdom on some of the things that we're doing that may be causing additional stress that's unnecessary in this season. So begin to take some time to get in prayer and to introspect on some things in your life that needs to be addressed. Exercise, of course, is key. It's great for releasing stress because it helps to create endorphins in your body that make you feel better. If you're under a lot of stress, you may not want to do something that exerts too much because that's going to add stress. You might want to just go for a simple walk. Go for a walk, clear your mind, really just get out into the air so that you can breathe. Remove yourself from just the environment that you might be currently in and take a moment and go for a walk. It helps tremendously. Nutrition is key, always. One thing I love about the Word of God and His will for His life is that it's really simple. The same diet you would use to get well is the same diet you would use to alleviate stress out of your life. And so that means that, eating leafy greens are great for you. Anything high in vitamin C, because it helps to combat the free radicals that are happening from stress. Vitamin B vitamins are great for stress. And then you want to eat your berries and nuts. All the things that we know are healthy for us will help you in times of stress. So watching your diet, not eating a bunch of food that's filled with sugar, that is not going to help, because stress already spikes your insulin. So you don't want to be eating a bunch of sugar. Actually, you should pretty much alleviate it as much as you possibly can from your diet. Breathing. Taking time to breathe. When we're stressed out, our breath shortened, so we're not taking deep breaths. This is why even yoga, a light type of yoga, a restorative kind of yoga, or relaxing kind of yoga is a great exercise at that time, because it does help us to focus on our breathing and to get deep breaths. When you breathe correctly, you're actually producing endorphins that are like morphine to the body. They help you to feel good. So God has designed us to really be well. So there are things that you can do naturally, like just breathing, that will help you to feel better and to release the stress in your life. This is a big one. Reduce the amount of information that you're taking in. A lot of our adrenal fatigue is because we're getting too much information, especially in a time that we're in with social media. We really don't take a downtime. Watching television, getting on social media is not quiet time. That's still filling your mind with information that is increasing the amount of stress that's on your body. We have to be able to give ourselves a mental break. Meaning that I'm not looking at anything, I'm not reading anything, I'm not listening to anything. I'm really just being still, giving my mind a chance to rest. This will really help to reduce the stress on your body, because truly we are on information overload. So take some time in your day to just be still and be quiet and get in the silence. This is the one that I really want us to think about, and that's removing stressors. There are things, there are people, there are situations that are causing you stress in your life right now, and you know it without a shadow of a doubt. And it's important that we begin to investigate, are these things, people, and situations things that I should be removing out of my life? If they are not adding life and health to you, should they remain? And if they should remain, then what about it do I need to shift my perspective on? How do I change the way that I'm thinking about it, the way that I'm seeing it, so that it no longer stresses me out? Those are two ways that we have to begin to look at the situation and in our lives and the people in our lives. Are there people in your life right now that should not be there, that are causing you a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, but you have not addressed it and you continue to just deal with the issues? Or, are there situations in my life that if I shifted my perspective a little bit, maybe if I looked at it from the will and the word of God concerning it, it could shift the way I feel about it and can change, of course, my level of stress and anxiety and fear around it. And so these are some of the things that really will help us in this time to alleviate the stress in our lives. You are in control. You determine your health or your lack thereof. Do not sit by passively and allow certain things to stress you out, right? It's taking a toll on your body. It's definitely taking a toll on your health. And we do not want to get sick. We do not want to be ailed in our bodies. We really want to thrive. This is the time that God is going to use to help us to thrive. But how many of us know that with all the wisdom and the direction and ideas and the things that God may be giving us in this season to move forward for our families and for our nation, that we can't do that without our health? And so it's so important that we begin to focus on our health, focus on the things that's going to make us whole, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. I'm praying again for you and your family. I believe that God is going to do some miraculous things in and through our lives right now in this season. And I'm praying that you will also see it that way, that you will see the situations and circumstances that are happening in your life right now as opportunities to go to another level in your life, opportunities to make a difference in the lives of others, opportunities to know God in a way that you've never known him before, that we will release the stress, that we will release the fear, that we will release the anxiety, and wholeheartedly come into the knowledge of God's truth and trust and faith that we will overcome, that we will be the people that God has created us to be. We will have the things that he has promised us because he is a promise-keeping God, and that we will get through this. And so I thank you so much for joining me. Continue to stay strong. Use the tips and the information that we're giving you to be whole. And until next time, live whole, spirit, soul, and body.
Welcome to Holy Health and Fitness, where we help you to live whole, spirit, soul, and body.
We are the leading online health, fitness, and faith community that provides three-dimensional spirit, soul, and body information, support, and accountability.
Here you will have full access to daily meditations, transformational messages, mind-renewing tools and exercises, meal and workout plans, community encouragement and support, and a whole lot more.
Unlike other faith or fitness communities, we focus on the well-being of the whole person.
Our goal is to live whole
and to help you live whole.